What if you could have lunch with Warren Buffett, or Bill Gates, or Richard Branson? What would you ask them? What would you want to know? Better yet, what if they promised to give you all the tools they personally use to be a success? Would that change your life? Well, while I didn't exactly get the keys to Branson's success, I do want to tell you about the day I met an online millionaire and what happened to my life after he revealed the too easy to believe system that he used to build all his wealth with. Better yet, I will show you how you can use the same system to build a financial safety net that may have felt like a dream until now. Hey, my name is Dave Prosser. I grew up in Dublin, Ireland. I was a restless youth, and because of that, I couldn't ever really find a job that stuck. I've been a painter, a bricklayer, an online travel consultant. I managed a bar for some years, and I even had a job where I taught others how to drive. And yes, that is as scary as it sounds. And while I bounced from job to job, the one thing I managed to do was save all my pennies. It took years, but eventually I had enough to travel a little bit. I traveled all through Europe, Croatia, Sicily, and even Egypt. But the most important trip is the one I took to Seattle, Washington. I know, a bit random for a bloke from Ireland. See, I met a guy in a bar in Dublin. We got to having some beers, and before you know it, I found myself visiting him in Seattle. And that's where I met my wife. A little over a year later, I would take on the most rewarding job that I've ever had. Oddly, it's the one that doesn't pay me anything at all. It's the only job I've ever had where I'm on call 24/7 and never get a day off. And that is being a father. When my daughter was born, I knew I would do anything for her. Frankly, I was a little exhausted from jumping jobs, and seeing her beautiful face for the first time, I knew I didn't want to lose one precious moment with her. I didn't want to be gone all day working some job. I wanted to be at home so I could watch her grow up. That marked the start of my journey with online marketing, and me trying to figure out how to make money on the internet. It was not an easy journey. In fact, I'll be honest. I wasted years of my life and tens of thousands of dollars in costly mistakes. After 5 years, I was still barely able to make $1,000 a month. And many months it was far less, closer to zero actually. No matter what I did, no matter how little I made, I just couldn't sustain it. And my income would go back to nothing the following month. That was my problem for a long time. I tried every network marketing company you can imagine. At the same time, I tried every little silly thing I could come across, which resulted in me spreading myself way too thin. You know, I was making a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, but never enough to support a full-time lifestyle. Then, one day, as luck would have it, I am Irish after all, I met a man who had the life that I wanted. He traveled the world in private jets, took his family on long, exotic vacations, and only worked a few hours a day. I begged him for the answer, and what he was doing that I wasn't. How was it I could spend 18 hours a day on my computer and only make nickels and dimes, while he was making hundreds of thousands of dollars working only a few? Now, if you know nothing of us Irish, we can be a bit stubborn-headed when we put our mind to it, and I think this man saw that in me. So after a few lengthy chats over beers, yeah, most good things in my life happen over beers it seems, he finally revealed all. It had nothing to do with my work ethic, or my websites, or my products, or the piles of marketing books I'd studied. The secret was that I didn't have a system to follow. Let me correct that. It was that I didn't have a proven system. And once I learned what that system was, everything changed for me. I went from making $1,000 a month, well, my best month had been about $5,000. But I only did that once, and then it dropped back to nothing, just like before. Anyway, I went from $1,000 a month to making just over $22,000 my very first month. And all I did was follow this system. I know, that can sound like total hogwash, especially if you're in the same place I was, trying everything, yet feeling like the only thing you could really accomplish is getting more and more broke. For me, it was such an incredible time in my life that I took screenshots because there was a part of me that almost couldn't believe it myself. So here's the proof that I'm not pulling your chain. What's more incredible is what happened the more I followed the system. And while that is great, you know what the best part is? I get to be a full-time dad to my daughter, giving her the type of experiences that all kids deserve. The beauty of that is that now my income is predictable. Well, before, it was scattered, and I just didn't know what I was going to make from month to month. Now I do. I know what to expect to make this month and what to expect to make next month. I have projections 6 months out, so I can plan my life a lot better. Like I said earlier, everything I do is about my daughter, and this system has given me the relief to really know that everything is taken care of. I no longer have to worry about whether I can pay the bills anymore because I know they're all handled. But do you know the best perk about making the kind of money I make now? It's the ability I have to give back to those around me. Last summer I went back to Ireland. While I was there, I took my mom out on a shopping spree. I spent over $10,000, the stuff she really needed around the house. Knowing that I was able to do that, without even thinking about it, and feeling that joy from seeing my mom so happy, was an incredible experience. One I'll cherish throughout all my days. And I want you to have experiences like that in your own life. Today, I regularly have $30,000 months, and that figure is going higher every day. It's not a fluke or one lucky hit wonder. I have months like this all the time. In fact, let me log into my account live right now so you can see how real this is. And you can see right here that in just 3 days, I've made over $17,000. Oh, and do you know the best part? Instead of working 18 hours like I did before, I only work a few hours a day now. And by work, I mean I make a couple of posts on Facebook, place a few online ads, respond to some emails, check my account to see how much money I made that day. And today, I want you to try this entire system so you can see for yourself that it absolutely works. Listen, it's hard to know who to trust these days. That's why I want to share this system with you, completely risk-free. I can appreciate what it's like to be in your shoes. It wasn't that long ago that I was there. After I'd used this system for 30 days, had my first $22,000 month, I realized what the millionaire had really meant about what had been missing for all those years. And the real reason I never found success. The first thing was an easy to follow step-by-step system. Something where you can learn what to do, follow along, implement what you're learning the right way, and see results fast. You also need high-ticket products to sell. If you've never sold anything online before, where do you start? And how do you find products you can sell for $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 or more? Just getting a $47 product right can